welcome back to my channel. So today I'm gonna do a little review slash tutorial on the Anastasia Subculture palette, which I have here. I've played around with it now for a few weeks and I wanted to get a really good feel for it because this palette is very controversial. Some people love it, some people hate it, some people have so many problems with it. So I wanted to play around with it a lot before I form my own opinion. That way I can let you guys know what I felt about the palette, what I went through with the shadows and all that. And so yeah. And those of you who are new to my channel, welcome. My name is Salomia. I love to do makeup tutorials and reviews, and so yeah, that's about it. Welcome to my channel and I hope you subscribe and stay. So if you guys want to know my review and what I feel about the palette, then just keep on watching, and after that I will I'll show my little tutorial that I did, so that way you guys can take a look and see a look I did with the shadows. Okay guys, so what drew me to this palette was the color scheme. It is so beautiful. This is what it looks like on the inside, and I feel like the color scheme is so beautiful. Like all these colors are like fall-like, and they're just really pretty. These colors, they swatch wonderful, but obviously with swatching you can't really tell how it's gonna look on your eyes. So I'm gonna give you guys some pros and cons that I went through with the palette, and that way you guys can make your own decision if you guys are interested in buying the palette, if you guys want to pass on it. So yeah, let me give you first some of my pros, why I bought the palette, and then we'll go with the cons afterwards. So some of my pros are the color scheme is beautiful. It's supposed to be like a sister palette to the Modern Renaissance one, which that one is more warm tone. It has oranges in it and reds, and this one is supposed to be a little bit more like darker, like to take it like towards a night kind of look, because it does have a whole bunch of beautiful shades that I don't own, and also has a lot of dark shades. Like it has Axis, which is like this really like blue, kind of like dark teal blue color, and Untamed is like a dark kind of forest green, and this one Destiny is beautiful, like that's like an army green, and supposedly Electric and Cube, they are duochromes. And so yeah, it has a lot of beautiful colors in here. That's why I bought it in the first place. And I just like, obviously I love the Modern Renaissance, so I want to give this one a try, and I want to form my own opinion on it. So the color scheme is very nice, and the pigmentation on these is amazing. This palette is pigmented. You really do not need a whole bunch, like you don't need to dig in your brush like really rough in this. You just really need to tap in the color, and that's it. You have a whole bunch of color on your brush. Like you really literally don't need to go in that deep. So this palette is very pigmented, and those are pretty much my pros for this palette. So let's move on to the cons now. This is some of the cons that I had for the palette. The palette itself, it's very powdery. So even if you go with the fluffy brush and you go with the light hand, you will still dust up some powder from the shadows. So I would say you have to be careful with your brush when you dip into it, just because it's very powdery. And another con is these two shades, Cube and Electric, the duochromes on this side, they're not that pigmented. You have to really dip your brush in. I have some looks that I did with it on my Instagram, but for all my shadows I love to use Fix Plus on the ones that are like metallic, so I can make them more metallically. And these ones you really have to dig in with your brush. It's crazy because with these ones you have to dig in to get the pigmentation, but with the mattes, they're so pigmented you just need to tap your brush in a little bit and that's it. So I thought that was kind of weird that the metallics it's not really as creamy as the mattes. And this one, Adorn, this one is a metallic, not a duochrome. This one is a little bit more pigmented and creamy when you feel it with your hand, so you don't have to dig your brush in too much. But like I said, with all my metallic shades, I always love to do Fix Plus because I like to intensify the eyeshadow look. Also, another con for these is that some of these colors do oxidize on your eyes. Okay, I've noticed that New Wave has oxidized on me. I've noticed that Edge has oxidized on me. Untamed. They're beautiful colors, but when you put them on your eye, some of these don't look as what they are in the pan. As I was saying, keep in mind that some of these colors do oxidize on your eyes. What else have I noticed? That they're powdery, they do oxidize, some of the colors. And some of the darker ones like Axis and Untamed and Fudge, they're a little bit harder to blend out. If you put too much on your eye at once, you will have such a hard time blending it out. Sometimes the colors can skip on your eyes depending on how much pigment you put. So you just have to really be careful with this palette. In my opinion, this palette is not really friendly user. Like for example, if you're brand new to makeup and you're just starting out, I really do not recommend this palette for you because it's so pigmented. The pigments are not like pushed in this pans very hard. So obviously that's why it gets very powdery and you will have such a hard time blending it out. Also, I do not recommend this like if you're just like an everyday person who wants to hurry up and do your makeup and you have to be at work at a certain time. If you just like to do your makeup like really fast, go in there. I do not recommend this palette for you just because you do have to take your time with this palette. You have to you have to pack on the pigment slowly and then you have to blend it out and take your time. So this might not be the palette for you if you don't feel like taking the time to blend it out, you know, to go slowly, because you do have to work in these colors and kind of like you have to baby them, you know. So for beginners, and if you're just like somebody who likes to go in and out the door, just get something really quick on your eyes for work, I do not recommend this. But if you're like a makeup enthusiast, you love makeup, you like are a makeup artist, you love working with makeup, I do recommend this palette for you just because of the beautiful color selection. And you just have to take your time to work with the colors. You have to work them in your skin. I mean, the only pet peeve I have with this palette is that the colors oxidize. I wish that they stay as they look like in the pan, but some of them do go a little bit darker on me, but since I love these colors, I don't mind that. So my final conclusion for this palette is that I personally, I do like the palette. I'm not going to return it. I'm going to keep it, and I'm still going to keep on doing different looks with it. But in today's look, this is the eye look I created with it. I did kind of like a brown kind of fall look. So if you guys want to see how I got this look, then keep on watching for the rest of the video, and I'll see you guys when I'm done. Hey babes, as always, I'm gonna have my eyes and my eyebrows prepped already, and they should be good to go for the shadows. I'm gonna use Dawn as my transition shade, and I'm just putting it in my crease and a little bit above my crease since I have hooded eyes, and that should be our color we start with as a transition. Now moving into a more precise crease brush, I'm going to be using New Wave into my crease, and I'm going to put that color a little bit lower where I put my transition shade so it can be like a nice gradient color over the eyes. And you just do that to both sides of your eyes and just blend it in. With this fluffy brush from Sephora, I'm just going to go over both of those shadow on top of the lines, just to make it more of a smoother transition and to make everything blend well. I'll have everything listed down below of all the brushes I used for this eye look today. So right now we're just making sure everything blends nicely. I'm using this brush that I have from Mary Kay that I love to pack on color with, and I'm going to use the color Fudge only on my outer corners. And right now I'm just tapping that in. I'm going to worry about blending it out later, but you just want to lay out the color first of where you want it and then just tap it in. And then later we will blend it out a little bit so it won't look so harsh. Right now what I'm doing is blending it out a little bit with the same brush. And I'm just going over the pigments that we laid on it and just making sure that we are blending it out very nicely. And it should look something like this. It's gonna look messy, don't worry, the look will look put together when we're done. I'm gonna use Adorn, the metallic shade, and I'm gonna put it on my inner lid, all the way down to where we have that darker outer corner brown color. So right now I'm just adding it to my lid. And I didn't have it in the video, but I end up putting Fix Plus on my brush with this color because, like I say, I love to intensify my metallic looks, so I put a little bit of Fix Plus so it can look more poppin'. Right now I'm just making the outer edges more darker and blending it out more, so I added a little bit more of that fudge and started blending it out. Now I'm going to finish my face and come back with the finished look. And there you go, guys, that's the finished look with lashes and foundation and everything. So all the details will be linked down below. Okay, loves, that's it for today. I hope you guys enjoyed the little tutorial I did, and I hope you guys have now like a choice of what you think if you should get the palette or not. I know there has been many reviews on it, but for somebody who still hasn't purchased this palette yet, I just want to give out my opinion. That way you can see if it's good for you or not. Thank you so much, you guys, for being here. I hope you guys have a wonderful day or night wherever you're at. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and click the little bell somewhere on the bottom so you can get updated when I upload my next video. Thank you, guys. I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye.